Hello, my name is Lorraine, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Tuesday World Meditation. Tonight, you join me from my mother's home in Cold Spring, Kentucky. This sacred time and space is devoted to our shared practice of entering stillness together and of giving together. Let us first surround and protect ourselves with the love, the grace, the power, and the presence of God. Before we begin the meditation, I'd like to share a passage from the New Message about practice. Being back in America, the subject of freedom never is too far from anybody's lips or thoughts. So I always like to turn to see what the revelation has to say about everything. And that was the case when I started looking up what freedom actually was. So tonight I'm reading to you from Wisdom from the Greater Community, Volume 1, Chapter 7, on freedom. Marshall received this on April 10th, 1987, in Dallas, Texas. I'll be reading some excerpts. We would like to speak about freedom, a very important subject and one that is given a great deal of attention in this society in particular. But we must speak of freedom now in a larger context and give some ideas that will be very thought-provoking to you. Perhaps they will challenge some deeply held ideas and confirm some deeper inclinations as well. There's a great deal of hysteria about freedom, personal freedom, especially in this country. Freedom is taken to very great lengths here. Indeed, freedom is a very important aspect of your pursuit in life. It's very confusing, though, because it has some adversities, some obvious, and others perhaps that are never accounted for. Those who've attained wisdom in this world and in other worlds as well, who have discovered the gift of knowledge and cultivated it with their full intention, have come to certain basic realizations that are common everywhere, regardless of culture, environment, religion, language, and so forth. One of the things they have discovered uniformly is that the greater the knowledge, the greater the power, and the less the personal freedom. I shall repeat that. The greater the knowledge, the greater the power, and the less the personal freedom. It goes on to say, the only thing that matters in this world is knowledge. Knowledge is not ideas or philosophy. It is profound experience. It is universal and timeless, and it is valid for all dimensions. But it is scary. You have to give up the freedom you are used to, which is the privilege to be chaotic, for the freedom to be uniform and to have direction. When you have direction, your choices are limited. Indeed, as knowledge becomes stronger after a while, there is no choice. That is freedom. Freedom is a state of no choice. Now you're dealing with what is unequivocal and absolutely vital. You are not dealing with casual choices. Life is vital every moment. If you are entertaining choices, you can be certain you have not arrived at knowledge in that situation. The compelling force of knowledge is so strong that it overrides anything the world can set in its way. This level of commitment is the greatest demonstration of God. It is powerful, unending, and compassionate. It has vitality. It is driven from something beyond this world. It is an uncommon, relentless force. It does not care about cost and obstacles. It cares about practical functioning. People with knowledge will be uncommon and potent. They will not be alone, unless by choice. So, the wise say choice is something to be escaped, and yet choice is so valued in this world. I must have choice in everything. The government cannot tell me what to do. My wife cannot tell me. My friend cannot tell me. My body cannot tell me. The weather cannot tell me. I must be at choice. It is my choice. Like a little child, mine. It does not matter if it's good for you or not. It matters if it's mine. But you see, as knowledge emerges, everything begins to fall into place. There are not so many choices. You feel a very strong attraction to another person, the kind that sort of sweeps you away. And instead of saying, oh, how wonderful, attraction, and being swept away and then finding out later if there is any relationship there, you stop and you see if this is knowledge or not. You are able to check yourself. This keeps you returning to what is vital, to your own fulfillment and to your own contribution to others. Then you ask, where do I give myself totally? You look about, and there is not very much that is inspiring to give yourself to, so you must give yourself to your preparation. You must see what the world is asking of you, because now you see your life is not this desperate attempt to acquire things in a brief period of time. It is a place where you have come to contribute and to receive. Why is the world such a tough place? There's a great deal of emphasis now to make the world a place that is not tough at all. But do you see the contradiction in this? There is a contradiction. The question is not whether life is difficult or easy. The question is whether it is vital. There are people who have very easy lives and they are dead inside. Their vitality escaped them long ago. All they can hope for now is a buffering against their death and some kind of continued pleasurable stimulation. Sometimes when life is difficult, your vitality shows through. If you make life too easy, you will be asleep, comfortable and at ease. Nothing asked, nothing vital. You will work your whole life, earn lots of money, and your children will grow up with nothing vital at all. This is so evident. You can see this all about you. Life is not passive. It is a vital and powerful force, a serious and complete engagement, not a casual engagement. There is nothing casual about life. Whether it is quiet or active, it is extremely involved. Things happen out of necessity, not out of want. The clouds do not come by because they want to. They are pulled here. They have come, they have to come, and they come. They do not rain because it is fun. They rain because they must rain. You come to the world to give because you must give. That is your nature. If you do not give, you will be unhappy and blame everybody for it, even yourself. But you will not be happy. You must prepare yourself to give. Knowledge is a responsibility. You must be a person capable of bearing it. You cannot be like a child and assume the responsibility. You must prepare. Life will do this for you, and you must do it on your own accord. If you wish to uncover the mystery of your existence here, then you must give it great attention. Perhaps you will not be quite as personally free if you do that, but it is okay, because this is more important. Please join me now in a 30-minute stillness practice. Take whatever time you need to read your own step and inner stillness when you are ready. Nase Navara Karam. While we are in this place of stillness, I'd like to share a passage from the New Message, speaking about the messenger. Tonight, I'm going to be reading from God Has Spoken Again, the mission of the messenger, received April 10th, 2012, in Boulder, Colorado. Around the world, people are feeling anticipation and anxiety about the direction of the world. Whatever they ascribe these fears to, or however they might try to define it, it is because they are feeling the great waves of change that are coming to the world. They are feeling that humanity is becoming ever more weak, vulnerable, subject now to forces beyond its awareness. It is because of this that God has sent the revelation into the world. It is because of this that the messenger is here. Honor him, respect him. He is not a god, but none of the messengers were gods. He is not perfect, but none of the messengers were perfect. He has struggled with the revelation because all of the messengers have struggled with their revelations. He will be attacked and condemned because all of the messengers have been attacked and condemned by the very same thoughtlessness, arrogance, and ignorance that the messenger today will have to face and is facing even at this moment. His mission is not to build bridges or change governments or rectify every problem and error and injustice in the world. His mission is to give the secret restoration to the individual and to prepare humanity for the greatest events in human history, which are now upon you, which are coming over the horizon, even at this moment. The mission of the messenger is to bring the revelation to as many people as possible within his remaining time here on earth. For others who will carry on his great work with his blessing, who will carry the new message into the future, to bring it to ever more people, to the disadvantaged, to the wealthy, to the rich nations, to the poor nations, to the natives living out in nature, to the people of the big cities. The revelation is here. It can be studied alone. It can be studied together with others effectively. It can be heard. It can be read. It can be translated clearly. It must be shared. That is the duty of every person who receives it, and will be your natural desire to do so. But like all the great revelations at their time, it will be resisted and be difficult at first, for the world does not know it needs a revelation from God. The world is not prepared for this, and many people are set against it for different and various reasons. In time, if you can see this clearly, you will see that the messenger is demonstrating, in a very large sense, the true reality of your life, that you were sent into the world to do something important. Perhaps it's not going to be at a grand and global scale. That does not matter. Everyone was sent into the world for a greater purpose. And the fact that people are not aware of this or cannot find it because of political or religious oppression, or that people are blind to it, cannot hear it, cannot feel it, cannot support it in one another. That is the tragedy of the human family. That is the cause for corruption, dissension, conflict, hatred, and all the things that plague the human family and keep it from becoming a greater people in the universe. To learn of the revelation means to come back into relationship with knowledge, which is the part of you that has never left God, that is still in communication, that is wise and uncorrupted by the world, that is unafraid of the world, a wisdom and a strength that is the source of whatever courage and integrity you might have established thus far in your life. This is the gift of the messenger. This was the gift of the past messengers. Their story has been changed, and often their words have been misread. For all of God's revelations are to restore the individual power and the presence of knowledge. For this is their true conscience. And this is what will bring them to God in a pure and efficacious way. The world is blessed because God has spoken again. The world is blessed because the messengers in the world receive this blessing. Share it with others. The revelation is very great. You cannot understand it in a moment. You cannot read it in a sentence. You must come to it seeking its wisdom and relevance for your life and for the world you see. It is the test you see. It is the difficulty and the great opportunity of living at the time of revelation. It is the test for the recipient. Let us spend a few moments now together to be with Marshall and send him our love, devotion, gratitude, and strength. Now, see if there are others in the world or in your life who need to receive this strength as well. If so, spend a moment sending strength or another quality to these individuals. Nase, Navara, Karam. Thank you all for coming, and may the presence be with you.